So welcome along to the newest edition of Percussion Discussion, and I'm delighted to have the first of the metal guys with me today, and really thrilled and privileged to have one of the guys who pretty much started, influenced some of the biggest metal bands and the metal drummers around the world, and that is Robb Reiner from Anvil. Rob, appreciate this, mate. Thank you so much for being here.
Great to be here, Maddie.
It's fantastic. So I really, really appreciate it. So how's life treating you at the moment?
Well, in general, I'm good, man. In general, the only thing I don't like is this COVID lockdown shit.
Yeah, I don't think anyone likes that. So how locked down are you over in Canada? Are you?
They just locked us down yesterday again for 28 days, full on. But before that, we were kind of open, really.
Was the gigs happening and things, or
No. There's no rock and roll happening.
Yeah.
The only rock and roll that was happening here was they were allowing max capacity 50 people with plexiglass, in front of on the stage and that kind of stuff. But I won't be part of that. That's contributing to the COVID thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we did one in July. We did a live stream, one of those live stream deals. And that was interesting. We sold tickets. We sold, I don't know, 400 or 500 tickets, I think, around the world.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And it was great audio, great production. I mean, it was good, but it's really weird playing to basically a room with like 10 camera guys there. You know what I mean?
Hard to get the atmosphere going.
Yeah, well, it was different. We rocked, we kicked ass, but it was not like a real gig. So this whole thing that's going on is really stifling.
Yeah, totally with you. Absolutely.
Yeah. But what we've done actually in all this time is we've written our new album.
So is this a new album for next year now? Because you've released one already.
Yeah. Legal Last is this year. Unfortunately, COVID fucked. We got 17 gigs into the whole tour of it. We had tours all over the world, and COVID shut that down. So unfortunately, we're going to resume next year if next fall allows us. So then we're going to pick up Europe anyways where it left off.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's caused so many problems, hasn't it? So you'll be touring
the new album is slated. It will be out 2022, and we will record it next summer. Yeah. But it's all written. We took the last 8 months and we could write another album. We were talking about it, going, we're still going to be around for another month, 8 months or whatever. We should maybe write another album.
Do you know, you really are. I mean, we're kind of jumping around a bit, but you're one of the most prolific bands. You've been around for, was it 78 when Anvil started?
42 years.
That's a long time, isn't it?
I would say, I get reminded of it that it's that long, but it's long. Of course, it's a lifetime.
This
that's a lifetime.
Yeah, there's very few bands. The Rolling Stones, I can't think of many more that have been going longer. AC/DC, maybe.
There's probably, there's not many. I'm sure there's not many. Yeah, time flies, and I don't know. I don't think about it that way. It's just like you feel it physically.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You start going, man, I feel more beat up every day. But no, it's time flies, man. That's the bottom line. So people remind me of things. I don't think of it like, oh man, we've been doing this a long time, Our next album is going to be number 19.
That's amazing, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah. We're at 18 now, but when you're an artist, you have to be creative. We're very prolific at our work, and we like to keep creating. That's every few years we need another dose of an Anvil.
Well, I'm lucky enough to have seen you twice, and here in North Wales there's not many venues that put bands of your size and caliber on, but I'm lucky. I live about 30 minutes from Buckley, where we have the Tivoli, which I've seen you there. I think it was 2016, and I can't remember the dates, but
that's got to be the coldest venue in the UK. I love going there though.
Oh, it's a great venue. I've seen some huge, and it's hopefully we'll see you back there again.
And Rocky there, he's a great guy.
He's great. Yeah,
he seems really supportive of music and stuff. So
absolutely. I mean, I've even seen Wasp in there a few years ago. I've never seen the place quite so full. So and you, each time I've seen you there, you've gone down an absolute bomb. You've taken the roof off. So
yeah, it's yeah. The whole UK is really come alive for our band
hmm,
in the last decade. That's all. We've been starting to tour there more and more, and people are coming from everywhere to see us.
hmm.
And we're a lot of places. Last tour, what we were just doing, we played some like smaller towns and small venues, right? And they were just so packed. They're all sold out and packed and everything. And I was saying to myself, I guess that's what they do there. They just people will travel because the towns are so close, really, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
Sort of. I mean,
yeah,
I guess I'm generalizing, but it's not. You can travel 20, 30 miles and see.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. And if we can't go to places like the Tivoli and Buckley, then Manchester is the biggest kind of gigging city. We've got venues from the Manchester Apollo. I don't know if you've ever played there or not.
That back with my Motorhead back in the 80s or something.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
my favorite venue of all time, the Apollo in Manchester. It's just
Yeah.
something about it.
Yeah. Right. We always play the O2, those O2 venues.
Yeah, yeah.
The UK is great. I love the UK. To be really honest with you, it's everything's just like I can't explain. I'm always humbled when I go there. I go like, man, like look what's going on. People are just fucking digging this, and it was not really like that. Maybe the Anvil movie opened the doors for us in a lot of places over there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that was. I mean, I love the fact that we're jumping around because I normally start at the beginning, but this is great.
Yeah.
Suits
Well,
me
perfectly. Yeah.
That movie did obviously. I'm sure you won't mind me saying, in the '90s, it kind of Anvil were not as well heard of. Let's say you weren't.
Yeah, there's no question about it. But that was not. We were still around. We just didn't have anybody pumping our records.
Yeah.
Didn't have agents giving us good gigs. It was just like we were a band that was just like forgotten.
Yeah,
If you will, or just like, oh, those guys. I don't even know what the hell it was. We just didn't have good record company support.
Yeah,
I call those the dark years, right?
yeah. Well, music was changing as well, wasn't it? But
yeah, true enough. Yeah, but metal bands still existed. I mean, we weren't the only one that existed.
No.
We just didn't have the big what was needed at a time to be in people's face. You know what I mean? So we really went like underground, if you were.
Yeah, but you've always been 100%. You've never sold out. Anvil have always been Anvil, and they've never. Oh, this is what's popular.
Wait till you hear this new album, man. It's like a biggest dose of Anvil you'll ever hear.
I can't wait. Well, it was the first song I ever heard that got me into you guys was Motormount. Obviously, you know which album that's from, and it was.
That was kind of a speed metal thing.
I can hear so many influences in there. I mean, who influenced? Because obviously, late sort of 70s. Who was your influence for starting Anvil at that time? Obviously you and Rob.
Well, I no, you mean Lips?
Lips, sorry, yes. Yeah. You and Lips, sorry, yes.
Yeah, right.
So what was
why did we start the band?
Yeah, I mean, what influences? What musical influences?
Both of us. We grew up basically the same music, all early '70s and '60s stuff. Right from Cream, Hendrix, Grand Funk, Sabbath, Deep Purple, Uriah Heep, Fogat, Cactus. I mean, I could just name. That's what we grew up with. So we were musicians.
Yeah.
At that time, and we just we met at a jam. This guy I knew. I was a kid, and he had Lips over at his place, and he said, "Hey, I know a drummer," and he called me, and I showed up, and that's where I met Lips.
Yeah, and
at that time, we jammed, and we were having a jam, and after that jam, walking home, I just said to him, "Hey, man, like, why don't we make a band?" Like basically, why don't we just make a band? Because we hit it right off with all the music. We were jamming all the stuff that's done. We were playing Grand Funk riffs and Sabbath stuff, and we were making up songs even, right?
Yeah.
And I said, "Why don't we make a band?" And he said, "Okay." He said, "Sure, man. Let's do it." And that was it. That was pretty well how innocently organic it was.
And
And we were teenagers. We were kids. I mean, like young guys. I mean,
and what kind of scene was it where you were at the time in Canada? Was it
at that time, that was late. It's like the later '70s. There's no real metal scene where we live here in Canada, really. Matter of fact, but
right.
here in Toronto, where I live, there's no real scene here.
Still,
no, fuck. What scene, man? You know, the only place where there's a scene is in Europe.
Yeah.
Europe keeps it alive, and it just doesn't stop.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm not saying Europe is like not meaning UK so much.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean, right? I'm talking actual mainland Europe, right?
Yeah.
Like people there live and breathe it. You go to their homes. We go to people's homes, and it looks like shrines of bands. But they're everyday people. But their homes are all, and they live and breathe metal and rock or whatever they love, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so beautiful to see. Over here, we don't have that.
Really?
Not the same way. You know what I mean? Oh, there's metalheads here. Of course, there's people like metal, rock, but there's no scene as we're like, let's go to this metal club tonight and there's going to be some great metal bands or something. I don't know. If there is, I don't know about it.
Yeah, that's a surprise. So, as far as popularity goes, are you do you do well in your own country, or do you better? Do better?
We absolutely do now. In these years, would be the best way to put it, right? In the earlier years, we did pretty good too, and then there's that void where we never played here. We started playing everywhere else, and then we never. So there's no demand for us here, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a while, but now there is. Now, whenever we play, we can pack places, and it's all like the real deal. People want to see us. Really, what it is, and again, back to that movie thing. That movie made us or got us such exposure to such an audience, well beyond metal people.
Yeah, totally.
Like rock. What do you want to call them? Just humans. People, folks, citizens of the world.
Yeah.
And right down to the young people, to old people, like every type of demographic. It's like it's beyond anything I would have never imagined it. I don't think anybody could imagine, but I could never imagine it, right? So now when we play and do shows, we have old fans, new fans, first timers, like every kind of and it's like wow, and they want to see. It's like we got to see these guys.
It's like, incredible.
There's this kind of energy, like when you meet people, it's like they're just like, man, I gotta see these guys. So I've gotten used to it. We now understand, and there's so many people like playing these small places. I believe we can do it forever.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, did you
like to be able to say everybody has seen the band?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you still enjoy touring? Does it still kind of get?
Yeah, absolutely. It's how we make a living. It's my job.
Yeah.
Lips and myself. Anvil is it's our job.
Yeah.
We don't have jobs. Band is the job. So it's like work. Like go to work. You have to. You go to work and you make a living.
And so how's touring?
It can be tiring, obviously.
Yeah.
But the 90 minutes that you get to rock out for the people that want to see it, that's worth it all, because you feel the love. There's a connection. Yeah. And everything is working. So you go, this is great. This is why I do this. You know what I mean? Like the people are appreciating. They're singing the songs. They're smiling. Like it's all you can't buy that shit.
And obviously the energy you provide at these gigs is phenomenal. It really is. It doesn't let up at all.
Yeah, well, that's just us. We're just big young kids still. that can do it. Even though, like I said, you feel beat up sometimes. You go, man, fuck, I ain't 20, but I'm doing it.
Oh yeah.
But you're having fun. It's about I'm not religious, but I'm very religious when it comes to the Church of FUN. Fun.
And I love the fact that Lips always ends up in the audience as well. It's just such a...
Yeah, that's his thing.
It's so you go and see some bands and it's kind of, that's it. This is the barrier here. With you guys, it's not like that. It's, like old friends.
You know what I like to call ourselves? we are really the people's band.
100%.
If you will, the people's band.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
You know, people. Yeah, man. And you know, it's growing as time goes on. You know, we're selling more records as the years go on. We're building a new fan base. You know, you could see that. Okay, it's working. If you keep doing this, keep touring, keep making good music, you keep getting cool and putting on great shows. You know what I mean? That's the big thing. You know, we're, as you said, you know, we're known to be a great live band.
Absolutely.
And you have to be able to keep that up, you know what I mean? Because people expect it when people, hey man, you know, you never seen Anvil, you got to go see these guys, you know, they're fucking blah, 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 blah. And if you go there and people go, well, what's the big deal? They're, you know, and if you're not putting on a kick-ass show, you know what I'm saying? So you always got to keep delivering, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of thing. Because sometimes we go, man, you know, why don't you guys change your set list, you know? Okay. Well, I'll tell you why. Because every time we play is always more new people than return people.
Yeah.
Every fucking time. It doesn't matter where we play. So to us, it's like they've never heard us before.
Yeah.
If you've seen us before, we're not trying to diss you, but you know, there's like, you know, 100 more of them than you. So we're appealing to everybody, and you know, it's difficult. It puts us in a little bit, you know, it's really about that.
Yeah. People like what they know.
Yeah, well, you know, let's say if you're playing to the same faces all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah, I get it. No problem. Switch it up, right? But when you're playing always to new faces and some old faces, we tend to we just got to play the same shit because it's all new to everybody.
Yeah, March of the Crabs, Metal on Metal, of course.
Well, of course. Yeah, well, the classics are forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like any band, right? You play them forever.
Totally.
But it's all those other deep tracks, and you know, like everybody's got a favorite, you know, that you don't play. It's you know, you hear people heckling, throwing, do this, do that. You know, it's of course it's stuff that you're not going to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they would love to hear it. It's all fun, but maybe one day, you know, we'll play a 3-hour set and we'll play everything.
It's an amazing position to be in, though, when you're getting new fans every time. Bands would kill for that, wouldn't they? You know?
Yeah, you're right. Well, this is what I was saying. It's really, that movie was what was like if you had a hit record, that was like a hit movie. If you it crossed. I mean, it's in the tens of millions of people. It's not just a million. It's in tens of millions.
Yeah,
it's like big time stuff. So for us, we're a rock band.
Yeah.
You know, we're just really a rock band, and you know, our friend made a movie about our story and our history and all that stuff, and it went beyond any, you know, it went beyond my expectations. You know, I figured, okay, cool, maybe somebody will like it, but it became like something that's on tour buses. Big rock stars, you know, famous people. It's almost like Steve Harris would be a quick example. He told us once, you know, he says that movie could have been him.
Yeah,
you know, he said it right to the lips of me, you know, saying that, hey man, that could have been me just as easy.
Yeah. You know, when you were making it, did you have any idea how it was going to go stratospheric like that?
I had. The only guy that believed was Lips. Lips knew that it was going to be successful all along. But you know, I didn't feel his energy. I just didn't get it. Yeah. I mean, I was going like, you know, you're making a movie about a bunch of guys and, you know, all this stuff. And, you know, it's a metal band, you know, just whatever. It was all cool. I was into it, but I didn't get that. I don't know. It was impossible to know, man. I had no idea.
It was I thoroughly enjoyed it. I find it, and I don't know if anyone said this before, I found it the first time I watched it quite hard to watch because you feel bad that things aren't going right, you know. And
yeah. That's okay. I've heard it all, man. You know, it's what it was. It's what it is. It's real. It's real life. You want to read, like, and there's tens of thousands of artists all went through the same thing. Everybody.
So, at that point,
so we were willing to show the world in real time. You know, it's not like it was that we're actors. You know, some people think we are. You know, to this day, you know, we meet people like, oh, you guys are just some Hollywood fake band, right? It's like, yeah, it's crazy. It's like we got 18 albums, but we're not real. No problem.
I get angry when I hear the Spinal Tap thing because it's not. It's just that. Yeah. It's nothing.
You know what? I agree with you completely. I got over that. I couldn't stand the comparison because it's not really reality
No.
comparison. But the movie guys really ran with it because they like the marketing energy that it's all about that other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Spinal Tap is a great movie. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no. I get you, man. But Spinal Tap. We're there. Listen, here's the reality. Spinal Tap is the fucking fake Anvil.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
How's that work? Okay.
I'm good with that. I'm good with
Okay, you're good with that? Okay. There you go.
But hey, look, it was so everything that happened in that film, it was literally just following you on a tour, and
Yeah, for 2 years. They
you
filmed
had some
that.
shitty nights in there, didn't you? Oh man, some shitty gigs.
Well, it was it was a bit of it was everything.
Yeah.
It was just a complete smorgasbord of everything.
Yeah.
Good, bad, the ugly, this, that, disorganized, just what it was. No money, low budget, no promotion, just. But we're out there. The diehards that were fans, they were there. I mean, it was. Listen, the movie might have made it feel, through creative editing, perhaps, that it was more of a tragedy than it really was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that bad. It wasn't really that bad of a tour, but it wasn't, obviously it wasn't a great tour, but compared to where we are today, it's not even comparable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But hey, do you know what? It was a triumph in the end.
But it's all true. The whole thing's all true. Everything that movie showed, it all really happened, and it was all real.
So down to Lips having his Meals on Wheels kind of job and all that. That was all.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, we had to survive, right? The band was unable to do that then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we can. Like for 12, 13 years, the band is our day job.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, the passion for the band is incredible, and you don't see that very often these days. I don't think.
Passion within the band, you mean?
Passion for the band and making it work. It was incredible.
Yeah. Well, at this point now, we can't. What do you do? I'm not going to retire. What am I going to do?
No,
I'm already bored enough.
Yeah. I mean, you said. I mean, what day is it? It's a Tuesday.
We're serious musicians, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like even that, we play all the time, and we dearly dedicated to our craft. So I don't believe age has anything to do with any of it.
No. And you even said you're rehearsing this evening.
Yeah. We rehearse 4 days a week. We have our own rehearsal studio.
Amazing.
Yeah, like we have our own place. And we get together four days. We've been doing it at nights because less traffic. Whatever. We just play around the time schedule, but we get together four nights a week and jam. We write music is what we do.
Yeah.
Primarily is what we do. If we have to go for a tour or something, then we'll rehearse the set for a few days. Right? But right now, all we do is we're just rehearsing the new forthcoming record we're going to record and all the shit that we wrote. And I can't tell you the title. We have a title. I could tell you. I have the cover already. I just can't. I just don't want to put it out there, but I'd love to.
So do you guys live?
Another dose of Anvil, man.
Do you live close together? Are you far from each other?
No, we live pretty close. Lips and me are about 15 minutes apart.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're pretty close.
That's amazing.
Christ, our bass player, he lives in another city, I guess. He lives in Aurora.
Yeah,
that won't mean anything to you, but it's not Toronto. It's about a half hour from here.
So it's easily doable.
It's doable. It's not far. But, and then we have a rehearsal joint, a place that we rent here in Toronto.
Brilliant. And can you see you being a three-piece from now on? Would you ever go back to the second guitarist, or are you done with those days now?
I think I can. Yeah, we're done with that. It was never. We were. To be honest with you, we've always been a three-piece. We had a cosmetic application on stage with another guitar player. That's what I like to call that. But we were always a three-piece. All our records, all of them, were recorded primarily as a three-piece band, not four.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm too old school. I love power trio stuff. What I mean?
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. And
the Motorhead formula for me, or Budgie, or like again, so many bands I go with the 3-piece thing.
yeah,
It's all good, man. People say, yeah, it would sound more fuller if you had like a guitar player. I've heard all this fucking criticisms, but it doesn't make a difference, man.
there's enough energy for 6 on the stage when I see you live. It's
Yeah, no, I hear you. No, we're full, man. It's a full power trio.
yeah. Now then, I want to talk drums for a bit. We've talked
Okay.
about the band. So when you started drumming, how did it begin for you, Rob? Because there's one thing I'll notice that I don't know when you changed, but you seem to have gone to traditional grip to get drum geeky, which looks really unusual in metal, which I'm sure you'll agree. Did you start with traditional grip?
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah.
So I've always played traditional
Mm-hmm.
by fundamentally learning that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I, picked up match. Like, you go both ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I play rock and all of this time, but it changes the feeling for me. Why I went back? I love jazz. I like to feel swingy.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Even in Anvil, if you really analyze if you dig in, the drums actually swing a lot.
Yeah.
It's not just so like rock and roll. If it's subtle, but it's really there. People have analyzed it, noticed it, and bring it to me, and I love it because they're really they're going, you're really listening. If you're telling me that means you're listening, right?
Yeah.
I like the swingy thing, right? I'm kind of jazz. I like jazz or big bands, just the swing thing, right? So, and playing with the left hand in traditional, I just find it. It's more who I am as a drummer, I think.
Yeah.
So I brought it back, and I just then like just what you said. I've heard that now, fucking from I don't know, endless people. Man, that's fucking wild. Never seen anybody play like that in a metal band. That's fucking so cool. Blah blah. And then after hearing that for a while, I started thinking, okay, well, I guess this is pretty cool to do, anyways, just because it's not usual, right?
Yeah.
But I wasn't thinking that. I just wanted to go back to because what I used to do, I used to switch it up. I used to play match, a couple of tunes. I would go back to traditional just to be different. And then after I just got tired of it. That's pretty much my match became like, what? I got to go back to my roots, man. I got to go back.
Yeah.
And I have a very, like hard snap because I play rock. So it's not like light, like that left hand really fucking cracks. It's pretty hard, man.
The power you haven't lost any power going back to traditional.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, the producers, we record records, and Martin says to me, "Going, man, I don't know." He goes, "I don't know how you do it, man, but nobody cracks fucking like with a traditional snap like with that kind of power like you, right?"
Yeah.
I've just got I developed over the years to be able to play rock level snapping. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a formidable technique you've got, Rob. It really is.
And I'm old school, man. I like snare chops, and I still learn things. I never stop. I try to add something new all the time, and I still try to get things down. I've never gotten down, but I've been trying to get down for my whole life. I'm still working at things. And
so who were your original influences then? You're talking about the jazz big band thing.
Yeah,
way back.
Well, I grew up with Buddy Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Buddy and Gene Krupa, Sandy Nelson. I'm a big Sandy Nelson fan. I love Sandy Nelson, man. There's another one. Those were the kind of primary guys that when I was a kid, were like, man. I'll tell you a fast story if you want to hear it. When I was a kid, I was 10 or 11, around there. There was a TV show over here called I Love Lucy. The Lucy Show. I don't know if that was ever popular over there.
Yeah, I've heard of it. So
yeah, okay, so yeah, it was a big show over here, and there's one episode where Lucy and Ricky had a little boy called Ricky. They had a little kid, right? And the kid wanted to play drums, and they had an episode where the kid was going to learn how to play drums, and the guest, Buddy Rich, was the teacher on the show. He came in as a guest. So I saw this episode as a kid, right? And I'm going, man, it just inspired me. I go, fuck, man, I want to do that. That was it. It was like, and I said to my mom, man, I want to play drums. I want to learn, like, whatever. I just want to give this a go, right? So that was pretty well it for me. That's how it started.
Yeah, yeah. But you can see it. You can see the
From,
bloody thing. It's
from fucking TV show, man. I was buzzing, man. After I said, "Fuck, man, man, I got to do this."
yeah,
That's really where it started. And then it opened the door, and I started taking lessons
yeah.
as a kid. My mother then it bought me a drum kit for Christmas.
Hmm.
And I studied for about 7 years.
Did you?
From the books. Yeah,
Yeah.
at that time, I learned. Like I still have a lot of the books.
So you learned to read. You were a reader. Or are a reader.
Well, yeah. I guess I could read. I could read the books from the old days. I don't know how. I don't know what's going on today. It's probably the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could read it. 16 notes and quarter notes and dotted rests and fucking shit like that.
So yeah.
But I practiced chops. And I still practice chops now. I could practice more than I do, but I still do though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I know you have an unhealthy obsession with vintage snare drums as well. I see them on Facebook and
yeah. I've had them for a while, but I said to myself, I might as well just start. There's people that will probably, and they do enjoy it. So I do it because of that. I'll just share some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I've been collecting for a while, and I love using them. Actually,
that's the thing.
I actually use them. I don't just keep them on a shelf. But I have a few favorites that I actually play with, out live, and obviously the Ludwig, like like yourself there,
Yeah.
Superphonics are pretty well the.
Yeah, standard.
But the Rogers drums snare drums are right there with them.
Yeah.
There's no question. I'll go on a record for saying that. And I've tried a lot of them now and play. Ludwig Rogers, man, they made the best shit.
Yeah,
totally. In my opinion, best sounding snare drums. Totally. Metal shell specific. I should be more specific. The metal shell style drums.
Yeah. So do you have a go-to snare that you would take on tour? And this will always be the first choice.
Well, my current first choice would be the Rogers Super 10.
Oh, really? I think you shared a picture of that yesterday, actually, or the 6.5.
Yeah. I would say that would be my first choice right now.
Yeah.
The thing just sounds. It has a tone that's just worth priceless. And it's a great drum. It's as good as a Superphonic. Wow. It's not any less or worse, but it has its own characteristical thing about it that. It's just different,
Yeah, absolutely. No, well,
it's my current favorite. It's my current favorite, anyways.
Yeah.
Right now.
It's not. There's a certain thing about vintage drums, and a lot of people. Yeah, we had this discussion before I hit record.
Yeah.
And they just have a sound, and I like the fact that they have a history as well. You don't know where they've been played, who's played them. I like that sense of mystery about them.
I hear you, man. I feel that way with some of the. I have some old Slingerland snares, right? In the '60s, and I thought the same thing. I said, "Who the hell probably played this? Is this somebody in a church or like it was in a jazz band or?"
It's incredible, isn't it? It's history. Yeah.
No, it's all good, man. And you just tune them up the way you make them. I make them myself. I put the heads on, the snare wires. I tune it the way I like it.
Yeah.
So you make it kind of personal to you. And you screw around with it till you get the characteristical sound out of it that suits your desire at that moment, I guess, right?
Of course.
Yeah, I love it. I'm still shy of there's probably about 10 more snares. Since I'm meeting you here now and talking to you, maybe you can help me. I'm after some Heyman snare drums.
Okay.
Metal shell Heymans.
I can.
My collection desperately needs a couple of those.
Well, if anybody watching, because hopefully there will be quite a few people watching this, if anybody has anything that they'd like to part with, I'm after that, absolutely, especially if it's good condition and stuff. It's got to be playable. Yeah. The collection. Well, I've got some friends who have very nice vintage stuff that they sell, so I'll put you in touch.
Yeah, well, I'm after specific stuff if they have it. That's because it's hard to find over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, like the used drum market, the vintage stuff, is it in the UK? It's quite big. In the States, it's huge.
It's huge over here.
Yeah.
But you don't see a lot of European stuff, like like even old Sonar stuff. Like I'm after like some of the. I'm primarily I'm after 60s and 70s snare drums.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's primarily what I'm actually interested in, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Not 80s, 90s, or 50s. I want 60s, 70s. That's it.
Yeah, totally. Well, look. So we've talked about snare drums. Now, you're with Natal. Great sound drums. And how do you get on with those? Fine.
I'm very, very happy with them. They're great sounding drums. Or at least I got them sounding good.
Yeah.
And how did I get hooked up with that? I just got to try them. Really, I was in England. It was there in the UK.
George Frederick, was it by any chance?
Yep.
Yep, George. Yep.
George is the man who I'd talk with.
Yeah.
He's been great.
Great guy.
He's been great to me.
Yeah.
We did a gig there, and they supplied some. We were there for 3 gigs. The Stone Deaf Festival, was that what it's called?
Yeah.
Stone Deaf, am I right?
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a festival called that was like the first one, I think, and we did a couple of other gigs. So, anyways, one of the gigs was near the Marshall factory.
Ah, okay.
Milton Keynes.
Yes, Milton Keynes. That's it.
Yeah. So we did a gig in that town. There's a cool venue there. We've played it a few times.
The Stables? Was it the Stables? Was it called the Stables by any chance?
Oh, it's like just a square room.
Yeah.
You go up. I don't know if that's a.
Anyways,
it's in Milton Keynes. Somebody will phone in and they go, I was liable there. Anyways, they supplied an Intel drum kit, and I played them at the show on the show that night, and I was fucking impressed. And I said, man, these drums fucking sound great. And it was not even with the kind of drum heads I wanted on it. Like, it was just, here's a kit.
Yeah.
Supplied, played. So I played them, and I was quite impressed with the performance of them. Then I believe the next day or something, they invited us to come to the factory for like a tour. See how they build the amps and all this shit, right?
Yeah.
So we went there and did that, and then then I approached it wasn't George then, it was because he wasn't there, it was somebody else, and they said, here, just talk to George.
Yeah.
Because I said to him, hey man, I'd be into like checking these drums out, So that's how it all happened, and I ended up talking with George, and I was with D-Drum, and I wanted to get out of there anyways. It was really a good transition for me.
Yeah.
And I have a Natal kit in Europe. It's we have a storage place in Germany with all the Anvil backline.
Yeah.
And I have a Natal kit here in Toronto.
Great sounding drums.
Yeah, so I'm going to record. I plan on recording the new record with the Natal drum kit.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see how that goes.
Did you have to change your setup when you reverted back to traditional? Did you have to make quite a few changes, or
no,
not at all?
What, on the setup of the drum kit?
Yeah, on angles and what have you.
No, I play my toms pretty flat.
Okay.
In general.
Yeah.
Like, even so it's not changed nothing.
That's good. I have to change. I have to change everything if I go from traditional to match.
No, it changed nothing, man.
That's
I just if I had to compare my whatever way I play traditional, the way I whack the snare or whatever, the only way I can compare it to is the way Cozy Powell did it.
Yeah.
Cozy Powell played traditional. A lot of people don't know that. And the way that's how I kind of, I know I don't play like Buddy Rich that way myself.
Yeah.
It's more like the way Cozy played. That's the only thing I can compare it to.
Yeah. And what a drummer he was! Wow.
No, I love Cozy. Yeah, fuck, he's great, man. He had a great style. He had a great sound. Yeah. And he had his own feel. That's the other thing. It's totally. The feel. Good drummers are usually it's not about click tracks. It's about how's your soul? How's your soul? What's burning in the soul, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now look, I have to ask, right? How does it feel to have drummers like Lars Ulrich, Charlie Benante, Dave Lombardo singing your praises for being an influence? That must be an incredible feeling, because we're talking drumming megastars here, and they cite you as the influence. That's some compliment, isn't it, Rob?
Like I said, I'm humbled by everything, man. What I don't know what's what do we say? Okay, cool. Listen, the way I hear it today, I don't know. There's a band called Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. I
Yes,
don't know
yes.
if you've heard of those guys. Well, their music and their riffing and their writing and the arrangements, to me, it just sounds like Anvil music.
Yeah, totally. It does. They've just had a new album out, actually.
Yeah, I know. I just got the album. I started listening to it, going, man, like some of these songs, I go, what? It's like, Phil, like, what? You guys listen to our stuff? It sounds like Anvil with a different singer. It's like, in a way, like, especially the riffing. I'm going, like, man, like, they must, I just assume maybe they listen to some of our shit. I don't know why, or is it just coincidental?
No.
But drummers, like, I hear it all, I don't know. It's great. What am I supposed to do? I guess they enjoy whatever the work whatever they liked about it. I don't know.
I just think it's an amazing compliment. I mean, you three great players, you complement each other, it works, it still works, and you keep churning out quality stuff all the time. That's got to be a recipe for success, hasn't it?
Yeah, I guess it must be. I feel successful. I mean, in general, the fact that I make a living from doing this, it makes me feel successful.
Yeah. But you put so much into it, I see the stuff on Facebook, you're constantly pushing. And I think it's, great. Good on you. It's amazing. And of course, the one thing I haven't touched on is your artwork, which not music, not drumming related, but it's a great talent you've got there, Rob.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. When I don't tour, I paint.
Yeah.
Like it's like my other half of my, I'm split down the middle. I'm like a muso guy and this artsy guy.
Have you always painted?
More or less, yes. More or less. I started as a kid. I was 8 years old. I have an art book. I have an actual. There's a published book of my 75 pieces of my work. Most of my collection.
Okay.
Yeah. And my first painting I ever painted, is in that book.
Yeah.
I was 8 years old. I started when I was a kid, but I really picked it up when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
Like really said, you know what, I'm going to like really get into this, right? And ever since then, I've been painting. But in the last 15 years, I've been like hardcore into it. Like it's so hard. Like every second I have when I'm not doing music or anything, I'm painting.
So it's one or the other.
I got a painting, I don't know if this works. I got a painting.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we see it. Yeah.
It's in the work. I'm still working on it, but that's what I got going right now.
Amazing.
I love painting stuff like, wall with sunlight on it. Like, some people go like, what, what the fuck what kind of drugs is this guy on, right? There's so much energy in that loneliness and quietness and peacefulness that, for me, I feel energy from that.
Yeah. Totally get that.
It's completely isolated like this. It's like, what's going on? There's nothing going on. Yeah, that's the whole idea.
Yeah. And you, I guess you sell I've seen your website for your art. Do you sell?
I don't sell the paintings at all.
You sell prints of them though, right?
I have prints. Yes,
yeah.
I sell prints. I used to have puzzles. I sell the images. Basically. The actual canvases I don't sell. I can. People ask all the time. I just don't want to sell them.
Yeah.
It turns into something. It's somebody else. When I'm gone, somebody else can sell them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you can buy anything, just not the vintage snare drums or the original artwork. Everything else is for sale.
Well, the vintage snares, I don't want to sell those either. But I mean, listen, if I fell on hard times and I had, because you like starve to death or sell a painting, I think I would sell painting.
Yeah, of course.
It came to that or something, right? But,
yeah. Absolutely.
No, I sell the images, and I do pretty good with that. I know. Over the years, it's been good. The book has done great. The book has been very successful.
Good.
That's what I do stuff like that.
Do you find it's Anvil fans that have bought the book, or is it general, fans of art?
It's right now. I have to say it's mostly Anvil related people.
Yeah.
But people, not every metalhead is into art.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, of course.
Certain people who appreciate whatever that is are more, and then there's some people, a small percentage that are the real quasi artsy crowd. They don't know much about me.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
as a painter. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Of course, yeah.
I'm not in that world. It's not like Ron Wood.
Yeah,
You know, like, if somebody would open that door and say, "Hey, man, you want to come in and do this whole trip in this world?" Maybe I would do it.
yeah, yeah.
Then you have all those people after your stuff, but this is just for me. It's how that's why I'm still alive. It's like it's my therapy, man.
Mm. Amazing. I'll tell you what, it's a fascinating life you lead, Rob. It really is, and I mean that in a positive way. It really is. It's incredible. So look, well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Rob, thanks so much for
Right?
taking the time to do this. It's been
No problem, Maddie. Nice to meet you, and
likewise.
I hope you got everything you wanted.
I certainly did. I certainly did. So thank you very much. And well, I know you're hopefully on tour next year in the UK. There's only a few dates.
Yeah. There's 4 dates. There's a banner that it goes up once in a while. There's no point in promoting it every day right now, but
Yeah, of course.
if you look for the dates, there's a whole tour.
Okay. Thank you very much.
September 15th till October 25 or something.
Well, hopefully I'll be at one of them. So thank you very much, Rob. Take care, mate.
Okay, mate.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.